Despite a low risk to humans, the state is taking steps to stop the spread of avian flu. There are still no reported cases of human infection, according to the state, but dozens of dead geese found in Allentown Borough did test positive for H5N1, forcing a partial park closure there. This week, the new federal agriculture secretary laid out plans to slow the outbreak and help farmers through this tough stretch. Senior correspondent Brenda Flanagan has the details and how one local farmer is protecting his birds.
Pete Lillo rescues domestic ducks and geese, lovingly cares for more than 100 disabled and abandoned birds at his small Sussex County farm. He's named them all, but stopped accepting new birds as cases of deadly avian flu have rapidly increased.
So I'm a little concerned about my flock. I keep them very secure in a controlled area. I don't allow any more rescues on my property.
Lillo's got 14 white geese, but wild ones often drop in here, Jersey's on a flyway. He's been tracking outbreaks of avian flu spreading across the U.S. and here in New Jersey. Officials closed 3 local parks in Allentown and a park in Sayreville after more than 30 dead geese tested positive. More recently, federal inspectors found the H5N1 virus in a flock of 820 poultry at a live market in Union County, the first such Jersey marketplace outbreak since 2023.
It keeps increasing. I'm a little concerned that the government is not putting enough resources into this.
There's evidence of it popping up all around the country in different places, different sources.
Researcher Larry Niles explains migrating birds make rest stops at places like the Delaware Bay, where they can easily share all kinds of viruses, including avian flu. It's spread by body fluids, but he says despite the uptick in cases,
I don't want everybody to get all scared and then start taking it out on wildlife because there's no need. We have a good surveillance system, and I think we'll know in good time. I bet in the country, the people of New Jersey will be among the first to know if there's a serious problem.
Union County's not the only regional outbreak at a live poultry market. Earlier this month, New York ordered live bird markets in the 5 boroughs and surrounding counties to temporarily shut down and disinfect. New Jersey issued a similar request, but it was voluntary.
We are also, actively doing surveillance in the other live bird markets to make sure that, if there are any additional cases, we stay on top of the disease control.
The CDC's reported 70 bird flu cases in humans and 1 death since 2024, but it's hard to gauge virus activity.
I don't know that we actually have a good sense of if we have bird flu in New Jersey at this point, because I don't know if people are being tested for the flu.
Montclair epidemiologist Stephanie Silvera says what's largely a virus infecting birds could mutate and become more transmissible.
I don't think that we need to be alarmist in terms of, a lot of people are suddenly going to get sick within the next week, right? But I think what we need to do is support the scientists.
The risk still remains low for the average New Jerseyan, but your risk does increase if you are, working in agriculture and having exposure to birds, poultry, waterfowl.
Local public health officials advise folks to wash up thoroughly after any exposure and report sick birds to authorities. For most folks, the most noticeable impact from bird flu is the soaring price of eggs. After some 15% of America's egg-laying chickens have been destroyed to suppress viral spread, according to analysts. The thought of culling his flock chills Lillo.
They could take them and they could kill them all, which would be that's the extreme. But who wants to see that? I mean, these are my family, that's the way I consider them.
Federal Agriculture Secretary Brooke Rollins has unveiled an alternative to preserve flocks and lower prices. It'd employ subsidized wildlife biosecurity perimeters around poultry facilities, $400 million in financial relief for farmers whose flocks must be culled, and $100 million to further avian vaccine research, plus relaxing regulations and import restrictions on egg producers and distributors. Silvera says the administration needs to act swiftly to stop the virus.
It was bound to get into our poultry and livestock as well at some point because, you know, birds don't follow the patterns that we want them to. And once that happens, the risk for the humans interacting with those birds goes up dramatically.
The administration didn't give a timeline for the new proposals. I'm Brenda Flanagan, NJ Spotlight News.